everybody. Welcome to today's episode of EverWorker Live. My name is Austin Bram. I am the AI evangelist here at EverWorker. And today we're going to be going over how Vlad here has created a project management AI worker. Before we dive into everything, Vlad, if you wouldn't mind giving people, a brief introduction of yourself. What do you do here at EverWorker? Basically that.
Well, that's a very good question. First of all, hi everyone. I'm Vlad. Probably you've seen me before. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing. Some would say that I'm a solutions engineer. Some would say that I'm a sales engineer. Some would say that I'm a solution architect. So you know what? Depending on what you want and what you need, you can pick one and ask me different kind of questions. But yeah, mainly I'm facing customers and I'm part of, gathering requirements, understanding use cases, and seeing how I can possibly support the customers further with our product.
Perfect. I mean, for everyone that has ever worked in startup land before, we kind of understand that everyone does kind of everything. So Vlad literally does everything here. So Vlad, thanks a lot for joining us today. Before we get started, everybody, I'm going to do a brief kind of introduction, more or less, on what we're doing here, why we're here in the first place. So for those that don't know us, EverWorker is a company that is based out of San Francisco, New York, and Zurich. We have more or less team members all over the world with deep, proven expertise across AI. You might have seen a lot. I mean, you've probably seen these live streams before. They happen every single week. You might see that I'm interviewing our CEO, Peter Grigenti, or our Chief Product Officer, Anton Antich. We have about 35 employees, and we kind of work across all verticals. So that's a little bit about who we are. And then today, as I've gone over, we're going to be going over how Vlad has created a project management AI worker that he's actually going to even demo and show us different parts of it. Quick agenda. We're going to go over what are these always on agentic AI workers. What are the benefits and ROI of agentic AI? Introducing project management worker. He's going to show us a demo. Then we're going to kind of talk about how you can approach actually employing. We like calling it employing because it's an AI worker. It's doing actual work for you and with you. So employing this project manager AI worker, as well as some use cases. And then we're also going to talk about the free certification course that we have as part of our EverWorker brand. So you want to stick around for that so you can learn more. And then as well, one huge thing, I mean, as you can kind of get the vibe from Vlad and I, we want this to be conversational. We want this to be fun. We want to bring some life to the AI world, to the tech space, so that it is fun. It's not just a bunch of coders over here heads down coding. We're trying to have fun as well, and we want it to be interactive for you all. So if you're on YouTube, you can leave your put it in the chat, put any questions you have. If you're on LinkedIn, you can leave comments. If you're on StreamYard, you can also leave these chat comments that we'll be periodically looking at. So by all means, we want this to be fun. Okay, we want it to be interactive. Throw the things in the chat, throw the comments, share this with everyone afterwards. And make sure to follow us on YouTube and LinkedIn and across our social medias. All right, so first things first. When it comes to AI workers, we don't just call these AI agents. AI agents, for the most part, are just doing tasks here and there. But AI workers are actual knowledge workers. They're doing actual work alongside of you, with you. So in this case, analyzing, understanding, deciding what it needs to do, actually executing to do those things, and then iteratively learning based off of the responses that it gets. So they're doing actual holistic work with you and for you to augment everything that you do at your work. And in this case, as a project manager. So this is kind of what our structure looks like for the most part with how these AI workers are working. We give it these instructions, so these package prompts that go to a large language model, which you can choose whichever large language model that you would like, and it will have access to your knowledge for your company, your enterprise, whatever it is. You can decide what goes into this knowledge database so that every time this AI worker is doing something, like in my case, for all you have watched before, I'm in marketing. it has our marketing brand guidelines. So it knows, okay, say this, don't say this. This is the kind of vibe that we're trying to go for, all that. But then afterwards, the LLM and the worker decides what skills or what actions to take. So that's how it's actually going to go through and complete these tasks, with the LLM being the brain of the AI worker in the first place. There is no engineering required. All of this can be completely tailored to your business. So I'm sure Vlad and I will even talk about that when he's going through the demo. What are some ways that we can tweak this? Maybe some ways that even I can use this in some of my workflows. And as that goes through, you can also start to think, okay, I get it. I understand the concept now. How can I implement this into my business? And then there's inherently the expertise that is built in. If you've gone on YouTube or you've tried learning how to build AI agents before, especially if you're not technical, it's like you're just watching this video and you're like, I have no idea what's going on here. Usually it is a arduous, hard process, more or less, that you're having to build these AI agents. We come in with that expertise to help you learn the platform and actually build these AI workers. And, in the case of these live streams, and we have people like Vlad and other team members on, they can help you right here by answering any questions. We take care of all of the complexity that goes on underneath of the iceberg that is creating AI agents. So you don't have to worry about all the RAG infrastructure, the databases, knowing how to code, all of that. All you have to worry about is creating these beautiful AI workers for your team. And one big thing that we always talk about, and it's kind of the cliche in the AI world right now, is everyone's saying there's no actual benefit to using AI, and there's no actual ROI that is behind it. Well, there is actual data at this point now, a few years into even just implementing ChatGPT for the world, that there is actual revenue and EBITDA responses to using AI workers in this case, and AI in general. So you can see here that the traditional way of doing work, yes, it's there's revenue per head of employee. Basically, once it gets AI augmented, yeah, you have maybe an internal chat bot, something like that, or you allow your team members to use Claude or whatever it is, and of course that will raise the revenue per employee for the most part. But then when you get down to actually an AI first company, where everything you do, you're asking, can AI help me with this? How can I use AI in literally everything you're doing, rather than just the IT space? The numbers increase drastically. So we are seeing that there are real world benefits and real world ROI basically on implementing AI workers. So your next project manager is going to be an AI worker. I want you all to think about what it says here of the whole idea of the world of project management is changing right now in front of our eyes. Most people are saying at this point that the average project manager is spending around 30% of their time on administrative tasks. Obviously, that's a lot of time. Gartner is saying by 2030, 80% of project managers' tasks will be managed by AI. So starting right now, and they even said this in 2019, which was crazy. This is before ChatGPT came out. They already were coming out and saying, based off research, this is what we're seeing for the future. And imagine, you have the chance right now to start and to get yourself ready for the future. But then also in 2024, about 90% of project managers reported a positive ROI from their AI tools. So we can all see there is actual importance to starting right now as a project manager with implementing AI, and in this case, AI workers. So now let's head over and bring Vlad back in for our demo here. So I'm going to add Vlad back to the screen, and we'll take it here. So Vlad, if you wouldn't mind starting off, I know for everyone that hasn't seen any of this before, it's like, what am I looking at? Can you just give us a brief maybe description? What made you think of this AI agent, or this AI worker, and what does it do? All about it.
Absolutely. So basically, everything started when we realized that we're wasting a lot of time when we're actually trying to gather requirements or when we're going on calls with customers. And we thought, what if instead of going a lot of back and forth on certain things that we're writing down and stuff like that, what if we would have an agent that could respect the guidelines that we're setting off in the first place, and then have another agent which would just basically take the whole transcript of the conversation, of the call, right? Which is something that comes, for example, for us from Teams, because this is what we're using, but it can be adaptable to any other programs, such as, I don't know, Zoom, for example, or anything else, right? So it basically came out of a need, of an internal need to move things faster and make sure that we're not missing anything. And the cool part about it is that you can tweak it and adjust it like however you please. But the heavy lift and like the heavy part of it would be this part, which is like getting the transcription in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you've got to connect all kind of nodes, all kind of APIs, generate tokens, like basically this kind of stuff that you see over here in this amazing architecture that I've prepared, together with some sub agents as well and all of that.
Okay, so my first thought, that comes to my head, around specifically the need that arose from basically, like we said, project managing. Whenever clients come in, there's these calls, whatever, figuring out requirements with the whole idea. So like kind of, it seems like the backbone of this worker is to be able to grab the transcription and actually then do something with it after the fact, like in the case we talk about requirements. So what exactly is the big difference between, let's say, just going to one of these other transcription services? Like what would be an advantage of this over just off-the-shelf transcription service?
Well, the fact that it's internal and it's using directly the API integration with Teams and Microsoft, and we're using their APIs within our system, and then we add the extra step, which is basically the generative part with AI, right? Where it's like looking through the script, understands exactly what it's supposed to find, and then it's even adding like follow-up questions in case like there was something that we missed on that call, for example.
Yeah,
so it's super helpful.
Yeah. Okay. So the big, and that kind of, I'm sure speaks to a lot of companies, is like, and I know we talk about it all the time, is like there are a million different AI solutions out there in the market right now, that more or less are just like standalone AI tools that can do certain things. Whereas we're really trying to show that like we can be a one-stop shop for all of those things, and it be secure in your, like in this case, it's our own Microsoft Teams instance, so that everything is, follows SSO and access controls and all that stuff. So that makes a lot of sense and seems super important. So if you wouldn't mind, with the transcription agent now, talking about a little bit of what, and then going to plus the requirements side of it, maybe even just talking a little bit more about how people can think about possibly using this in their own workflows, maybe.
Well, think about it as, like you basically want an agent that can give you a fair feedback on how things went, right? Like, for example, what went well, what could be improved, what was missing, like this kind of things. Like, so basically it could help a lot with the productivity, if you ask me. Because especially, like, for example, in this situation with the requirements gathering, when we're talking about, like gathering info from the customers, instead of like wasting time on certain parts, we can basically speed up the process and the conversation, and like focus on the bigger picture instead of the small details. And if there is something that is missing yet at the end, we can always circle back with an email, asking the follow-up questions that the agent already prepared by the end of like the day, let's put it this way.
Yep. And so it kind of can be changed and edited and added on to an existing workflow, possibly. Yes. It can be
the cool part is that everything is modular, right? So as you can see here, I have opened the transcript one, right? The transcript agent, because I feel like this is the backbone and the core functionality of, these sort of project management agents. But, what you can do afterwards, you can connect this sub agent with another agent that, like it's envisioning the bigger picture. But at least with this one, you're going to have straight access to the transcription, which then can be used by the other agent to do whatever you want. So,
Okay.
for example, if you want to use it for marketing purpose, you can do that as well. You can extract, highlights of the conversation. You can also, basically ask it to even make like a description, like an SEO-friendly description. It depends on what you want to do, but basically there's no limitation.
So that well, okay, you made my ears perk up, obviously, when you start talking about marketing, and I'm like, okay, I have shown other AI workers that I use and talked about other AI workers that I use in my own marketing workflow. So like, let me give you an example here, and we'll see if maybe this fits. Let's see. We'll use these live streams for an example. I have automated most of it at this point, where I can actually, I've had to manually go and take a transcription that then reads through it, figures out a general description, creates emails, creates the LinkedIn Live descriptions, and all that stuff. So you're saying that I could actually have that as the beginning portion of my agent.
Yeah. Instead of going into Teams, for example, or whatever you're using for that purpose, instead of going into a third-party app and grabbing that transcript and copy pasting it into the agent, you would basically skip that step.
Okay.
It will be directly integrated into the main agent, so you wouldn't have to spend any extra time. And it can start as simple as like having an input such as full name and title of the meeting, and then it will know exactly where to look and how to identify the conversation. Yeah.
Well, can you help me? Can you help show me? I can share my screen, and I have this agent up, this worker up, because I'm using it all the time.
If you want, I can just give like a quick explanation on what's going on here. So, just gonna show this as a picture. We can also discuss on what's happening. Yeah. So, as I was saying, initially everything starts from the input, which is the full name and title of the meeting. But what happened next is that we have this sub agent, which I call it Don't Touch, which is an Microsoft Bearer token generator, and it's basically generating a token, and then this one is actually generating the user ID, and then together they're actually accessing Microsoft API, which is getting a list of events with the online meetings and everything else. Then is being passed through different LLM nodes, which are like getting certain information. Like, for example, this one is getting like the join URL, and then this one is getting the online meeting ID, and so forth, and so on and so forth, right? Until you get to the point where the curl executor, which is like the last important one, it's pushing the transcript into the LLM node, into the GPT node. And at the end, you have, like the full transcript, which is, I know it sounds like maybe, weird, but it's actually super easy. And I can show you how it works if you want to, share your screen, and we can go through.
Yeah, let's do that. So let me pull up my screen over here. All right, cool. So this is what my kind of weekly live stream worker looks like right now. Like I mentioned, you can put in your transcript, and then it goes through and takes out interview questions, makes a stream name for all this stuff, and then basically creates emails and all kinds of different portions of these actual live streams like we're doing right now, actually.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit behind the scenes.
So if you think about it, you wouldn't even need the readability node anymore, because like in this situation, we're bypassing feeding like a file or an attachment, PDF or whatever. So instead of that, you can get rid of the readability node. That's one. And then I'm wondering, like, what is the interview one doing?
Taking some interview questions, and you can see like my system prompt here. I have some interview questions actually that I've asked you. And it's basically semantically going through and picking those out of that transcript that I was giving it.
Okay. Well, the beauty of it is that it's modular, right? So what happens is that you can just go to the plus box on the left up there, yes, and you can search for my agent.
Okay.
You can simply just type in the search node there, my agents.
Okay.
There you go. And if you click on it and you go there, you can search for the transcript one. I think it's there.
Okay. So just okay.
Yeah, that. So you see, that one is basically taking the full name and the title of the meeting. And then you can do the same with what you have there. Because the user prompt, I guess, is like for creating another, you know,
Yeah.
some sort of like title for whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you want to post. But you can also keep that one if you want, for the sake of it. But you can just add, like the missing pieces.
Okay.
And then you can use basically the output from the transcript agent to any of the nodes that were supposedly, have the transcript to use it later on.
Okay, so rather than maybe instead of these connectors, everything comes from this transcript agent.
I mean, I guess everything that was coming from the transcript file.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
is all of these things actually. So I can even just go like this. And then from here with because I need to connect these inputs, right?
Yes.
That would be a big aspect. Okay.
That's
so we
right.
need to add a new input that would be title of meeting. Is that what it'd be?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Title, I'll just do title meeting. Oh my goodness. All right, so something like that. And I can even get rid of this transcript file. Okay, and then you basically just, connect.
Yeah, you just connect the two of them. And then basically you click on the plus there.
Okay.
And where you see the transcript, you're just going to connect to
all these different nodes. Huh?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now this completely automated it even further where I don't even have to really do any downloading or anything like that.
Exactly.
Okay. So now the next thing is what? I guess based off of what these names that you've shown, what I put in my name?
Yeah, it should be the name of the owner of the meeting.
Okay.
Which I guess you.
Yep.
And then it should be the title of the meeting.
Okay, so the actual. So I go into my Microsoft Teams account and has read. Okay, so let's use our July 9th live stream actually, and use that as an example. Okay, so it would just be something as simple as that.
All right, and what it should be the result, like what it should do.
So basically what it would do is, based off this transcript, it would take out all these interview questions that I gave to it in the system prompt. It would create a stream name based off of whatever I like to call them type of thing. I'll give it some examples. A general description. It will take an outline. I have an actual outline that I like these live streams to follow. So it would fill that out. And then these are just more or less intro email, follow-up emails, and live stream for LinkedIn, YouTube, and our website. It's making up descriptions for all that.
I see. One thing that I would really recommend, so everything that comes from the transcript, like any LLM that you're using, it should have a big size of context, right?
Okay.
It's a transcription, so that would have a lot of words, and that would mean a lot of tokens, right?
Sure.
So yeah, something with over 1 million size of context tokens, that's just perfect.
Yep. Okay. So, and for everyone that has not seen before, we have the ability to use whatever LLM that you would like to bring in basically on your own instance as a way that you can basically choose how much money is this going to cost me, per output, per input, how big the tokens, all of that. And you have access to actually change and put all that into these specific nodes. I have very specific system prompts that I want to follow. I can give it chat history length, all of that type of stuff. Okay, so it's basically ready to run type of thing?
In theory, yeah, it should be.
Yeah, let's try it out. Let's try it out and see.
Refresh your page before running it? Nah.
I could have, but I didn't think about it. So you can see it. You can see it running. This is one of the things that actually I like to do, even with Vlad. I think he's a perfect person to do this with, is that you can see these workers actually going through and doing each part of the work. So you can see it's running right now. If it comes up red with an error, you can debug it in that specific node in and of itself. So you can see exactly what's going on, and you can kind of follow along what this workflow would do. So it's, and Vlad, you deal with this on a daily basis with customers and clients, is helping people understand in the first place what can be done, and what would be a logical workflow for people to go through. You're very useful at helping people do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's key part of like making it work, right? Because sometimes, things just break, and that's normal. And that's something that happens anywhere. And, sometimes there might be an issue with OpenAI API key, like it depends, like different issues, right?
Yep.
But as long as you have the development mode also enabled, you can see even more things. And also like the codes that the platform shows whenever something is wrong, they are pretty intuitive, so it's not very hard to tell like what's going on. So
Sure.
someone who's like having some basic technical knowledge should be able to to understand exactly how it works.
Yep. I mean, and in the case of like, as one can imagine, like we can even see that it's still running here for over 100 seconds. It's like when there's a transcript and it's a 45-minute long interview, basically. Now it okay, there we go. And then that's the longest part right there. You obviously, which makes sense. You can even go in and look. Yeah. Okay. So it pulled out. Yep. I was interviewing Joshua Sylvia. Some of you might have been in this live stream in the first place. So you're almost seeing the behind the scenes, what was happening with those live streams. You can see exactly what we did basically. So this makes my life a lot faster. So like, this is one thing I find so interesting talking to people is like, most people would say, okay, there's the traditional way that people were doing this for, 50 years, whatever it is. And then internet made it faster, and you can do it online, obviously. And then up until basically ChatGPT, it was a legacy way of doing it. It's very, very hands-on, very manual. Then even ChatGPT, it's like, oh, I can copy, paste. Oh, that messed up. Let me copy and paste it again. Oh, I need to restart my chat. And even that will save you a lot of time, but it still is quite manual. Whereas you saw here, I created this workflow once. Now Vlad just made it even faster with a transcript agent. So now rather than taking, originally it would be 45 minutes, it made it down to 10 minutes. Okay, now this actually made it down even further to 3 minutes. And over time, the more that compounds, the more that's going to save you time in the whole long run, basically.
To be honest with you, like what I've heard a lot lately from people who are close to me and friends in general, it's this thing like, I don't remember how we used to do things without AI before, because it's like boosting productivity in a crazy way.
Yeah, dude, look at this. The transcript agent took 100 seconds, but then after that, it was almost instantaneous. So in under 2 minutes, I now have intro emails, LinkedIn live descriptions, YouTube live description, all of this in under 2 minutes. And then this is not even including, we haven't even connected to this to our HubSpot. We haven't even connected this to YouTube, which we can do with all of our different API integrations.
Exactly. So there's basically no limitation in terms of what you can achieve. Obviously, from confidentiality reasons, so we couldn't share exactly what the requirements gathering does. But imagine that you're just giving it a requirements gathering guideline document, and based off that, and it's something that we all agreed internally, it knows exactly what to pursue, what to look for, what are the right questions, what it's supposed to actually do with all that information. So you can go even further to the point where you can say that build me like the flow for the POC. You can even go that far. Like it has literally no limitation. Like anything that you can think of and that could speed up the process and ease your work life, like the AI can do.
Well, that brings up a perfect point, right here of like, how can people approach applying this into their actual workflow in the first place, with kind of like what you were just saying? Like whenever we think about your workflow, you have different, like, Vlad connected our teams, like he said, we literally use the transcript agent for even sales calls and stuff, and now I will use it for my marketing calls. But you can connect to whatever database and whatever that you all at your company are using. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Teams. It can be Slack. It can be other things, to actually implement this in some way to your real workflow, which I kind of came together also with a few ideas. But before I give you those few use cases that we can talk through, Vlad, if this seems interesting to you, whoever is listening, that this could be useful to your team, we have a few different ways that we can help. We have these discovery workshops where we come in and actually identify some of these big use cases that you all can and should be implementing AI workers, almost like thinking we're like consultants in the sake of, like, we're helping you create more or less a strategy behind your AI strategy. But then we also have AI worker creation, which is basically Vlad here. Vlad is basically the king of this. He's meeting with clients and customers, figuring out what they want, and then working alongside them to create a highly specialized AI worker, if not multiple of them, so that to make sure it's something that actually will move the needle for you and your team. And then we have on-site training, as well as our online training, which I'll get into in a little bit. That is basically, let's teach you how to fish. Let's teach you how to do all this, rather than do everything for you, which is another way that, like I just said, that we do it. But we'd also love to teach people. We're very passionate about teaching people to be able to do this themselves as well. And then on top of all this, we have a few use cases. I'm not going to go through every single one of these because that would take much longer, but just so you can start to see how you can implement this maybe yourself. So if you're in the marketing growth world, like I am, content ideation, you can take that transcript and it will listen to it, pull out the key ideas, things like that. Webinar and podcast repurposing, like we kind of just saw with my worker. Campaign performance, it can look into your HubSpot and figure out which pieces of content are doing the best for you. It can pull out all that information. Sales and business development. There's so many different things that Vlad and his team work with these customers to figure out the best way. What we're really trying to do when we do these types of live streams is to give you guys ideas, because like Vlad said, and you saw, he just said, hey, here's some processes. What do you do, basically? And I told him, and he's like, yeah, here we go. Add it right there. Take this out, take that out.
If I could add, actually, this is the beauty of it, because you don't really need to think from an AI perspective at first. You can think of like, okay, you know what are my day-to-day tasks? And we can just, start from there. We can simply just have a conversation on what is your, daily activity and what you're doing for work, and how we can actually not just automate it, but, make it agentic AI. Yeah. Because that's what's about, right? It's about improving productivity and, basically make things 10 times faster and easier and smoother. And with the help of AI, I feel like that's already here. And even though it's here, I still feel like it's something new, and that, everybody should be on board with.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I like what Adam just commented here. That's crazy. Showing all this. Yeah. Cause it seems like, oh my gosh, like we can all think of ways that this would drastically improve. I mean, even just like the things that we always talk about of what are these tasks that are highly repeatable, more or less manual, busy work. These are the perfect things that you can think of adding in an AI worker to, if not take you 99% of the way there, augment every aspect, or literally do it. If it's like something super repeatable every single time that you can just connect to these different databases, it's basically open to whatever your interpretation wants to be.
But it can, we can take it even one step further, and we have, nodes that can, basically guide the LLM. Hey, go on this website, find this information, or, type this in, press enter, search for that specific thing and return it. So that's also something that you can do. So basically, there's literally no limitation in terms of what the AI can do. It's
Yeah,
just that you have to have imagination
that's
and you have to be creative,
yep.
because anything else, would just follow.
That's very true. And hey, that's what makes all of us human anyway, too, is the creativity and knowing our work. If you just like if I was an intern for Vlad and then Vlad didn't give me any instructions on what work I needed to do in the first place, I'd be like, I don't even know what I'm doing. So the same thing goes with AI, and we're almost thinking the same thing with AI in the future. Is the future of work is going to be, most of us are going to be managers of these AI workers in the first place, so that we get to do the creative strategic work, and we let the AI workers that obviously they're not humans. So they'll do it all the time, no sick days, no days off, doing these manual tasks that for the most part, very few people actually enjoy doing. I'm just gonna be honest here. So something super, super powerful. And on top of all that, now that kind of brings up the idea of our EverWorker Academy. For everyone, this is a free course that anyone can take that is called the fundamentals, the AI fundamentals for business professionals, which is, like I said, a free course that anyone can take. It only takes about 2 hours of your time, where it'll take you through the basics of AI, and at the end of it, actually give you a certification around showing, hey, I understand the fundamentals of AI, especially when it comes to business, so that you can share this with your LinkedIn, on your LinkedIn profile. And as we continuously build more and more courses to be either more complex for certain, more developer side of things, different part, for students, whatever it is, this gives you a chance to start now. As a lot of this is showing, and all of you are seeing, AI is everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. We know that it's only going to get better from here. This is the worst it's going to be today. It only gets better. It's best to start now, and it's best to start learning now. So if you want to learn more about EverWorker Academy, you can head over to workeracademy.ai and sign up for your free course, basically, where you can go through all this. And when you're done, make sure to post the certificate onto your LinkedIn. I'd love to give you a shout out on it. And we'd love for everyone to try out Worker Academy. But lastly, Vlad, thanks so much for your time here. I'll share this with everyone. Here are QR codes for our LinkedIn profiles. For anyone that is curious about learning more about AI workers, how can I use this myself? I want Vlad to take me through how I can think about this for my business and my team, whatever it is. Feel free to reach out to us. You can always, of course, go over to everworker.ai and request the demo, but you can also send us messages on LinkedIn as well. And we'd love to help you all. We'd love to ideate with you all. We're always here to help the next people, the next generation, get ready for the future of work, as well as those that are in business right now. How can they make their work more enjoyable by automating some of these more mundane tasks? So Vlad, thank you so much for joining me today. I know that we're going to obviously be doing this way more with you, since you're always creating the coolest workers altogether. But I really appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next stream.
Thank you for having me. And of course, feel free, guys, to just reach out. We're always happy to just talk about things, and even get on a call and have a demo if you're interested. And there's always a way that we can support you going forward.
Yeah.
I've seen that so far. You don't have to have a use case now. Just be curious.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I appreciate it, Vlad. Everyone, thank you for joining. We'll have this up on our YouTube channel, as well as our LinkedIn page, for anyone that wants to watch after the fact too. And we'll see you next time.
See you.